Hi, Mr. Clement. Where are you joining from? Are you in Nigeria or you are in the United States? If you are talking, you are muted.
Hello, Mr. Clement. Can you hear us? Oh, let me unmute you. Let's see.
He's muted, sir. He's muted. His mic is muted. Same with CY. This is 6 o'clock. Mr. Ray, check if there is anyone at the lobby.
No.
So,
Okay, we have Emmanuel joining us now.
hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel. You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Adebisi.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Adebisi is muted. So,
No,
I can,
just
yeah,
for-
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah,
all
Mr.
right. All
Yes.
right.
Mr. Adebisi, where are you joining from?
Pharmacist.
From Nigeria or
Nigeria.
US?
Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Otombo. Good evening. Where are you joining us from?
Good evening. Joining from Uyo, Nigeria.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
See why can you hear us?
Oh, sure. I can hear everybody loud and clear.
Okay.
Welcome, Clement. Who else is here? Emmanuel. You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
How many more minutes do we give before we start the?
Let's just give additional 2 minutes more for this to introduce ourselves, get to meet each other.
Hello, Tony Chokwe. You're welcome.
Bye. Thank you, sir.
Where are you joining from?
I'm joining from Texas.
Okay. Welcome.
Okay. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Dekola, Temitope, Clement, and Mr. Otom. Well, you're all welcome. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hearing you loud and clear.
Okay.
Adekola just joined.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's just start. We'll be having our inaugural meeting today. Then after the inaugural meeting, which will be introduction, we get to meet each other. We're going to look at the prospects relating to this training. At the same time, what are your expectations, your knowledge, your background? You have knowledge relating to IT, or are you transiting from your background to IT? And which areas do you think you are going to be looking at in the IT industry? First of all, my name is Raymond Momodu. I'll be one of your facilitators for this training, in quotes, cloud engineering. So I've been into training for the past decade. Okay, so I would say for 2-3 years now, I've migrated to cloud. So why cloud now? Because cloud is what is in vogue. Why cloud? Why is it in vogue? In quotes. When we look into the aspects of the IT industry, the IT industry is very broad, very, very broad, to the extent that you have IT administrator, you have website developer, you have router and switches administrators, you have cybersecurity administrators. So the IT itself is broad. So in as much as the IT is broad, you have to pick the area of IT that you are going into that has prospects. Prospects whereby in the next 1, 2, 3 decades, your skills that you are going to acquire after this training will be relevant in the industry. Skills relevant in the industry, not just relying on a particular pay. We are looking at a skills that will require you to keep developing yourself. That will require you to keep developing yourself. As you are developing yourself, so also that 6 figure that you are going to aim is also increasing, especially if you are now cloud engineer. For you to become a cloud engineer, you have to go through the basic level, the foundation from the scratch, see the finished level. Then you have to write 1 or 2 certifications. After that certification, then at the end of the day, the area of possibilities now open for you. So you will now be the one to make choice on which company are you going to be working for permanently, or do you want to become a consultant? So the good thing about IT cloud engineering, it gives that flexibility and that opportunity for you to work remotely. So I'm not going to be the only facilitator for this training. We have other facilitators. I think some of it is the first time you're meeting me, okay? And I will also, for those of you, if we're meeting for the first time, if possible, you can turn on your videos so that we get to see each other, please, for the first time. possible, you can turn on your video. Let's get to see each other. Yeah, Mr. Otombo, welcome. So at this stage now, I will have to allow other facilitator to take over and also introduce themselves. I have Mr. Austin in the house, Mr. Tafik Yusuf, and Mr. Siwa. So let's get to hear from Mr. Austin, which is also one of the facilitators for this training.
Hello.
Thank you.
Good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Okay. My name is Austin Okoro. Somebody said network is off. It's echoing. Okay. So my name is Austin Okoro. I'm a DevOps engineer, and I work with Profis here in Nigeria, in Lagos. Some of you already know me, like Pharmacist Chimaroke and Otodong. I would want to give you
Hey, Austin, you're muted.
Sorry, just go ahead and mute yourself.
Okay, I've unmuted myself. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I said my name is Austin Okoro. I'm a DevOps engineer. I work with Profis Limited. Okay. So, but I'd like to give you guys, especially for the trainees, I'm going to be one of the facilitators of this program. I'd like to give you a background on DevOps. What is DevOps? Basically, DevOps is a combination of two words. In IT, we have two major aspects that has to do with development and operations. Development and operations. So when we talk about development in IT sector, it covers, entails the conception period, where someone, a business owner, comes up with an idea of trying to create a solution for real life, challenge issues. So the conception period, the idealization, writing, and getting developers or programmers together to come and translate that idea with codes to write the business logic, the designers, all that sum up to development. Now, operations is when this service has gone up to production, it has gone to life, and people have started using it. So from time to time, you're going to be running into issues. Customer, this is not giving us what we want. This is doing this. This is doing that. Feedback from the customers in such a way that you want to modify and update or add new features to that service. So, and because of the differences of understanding and technicalities, there has always been this loggerhead between the development and the operations, because sometimes the developers who are writing these codes on their laptops will tell you that this code is working, or I have tested it, is working the way it's supposed to do. But the person at the development end who is facing the customers will tell you, this is not doing what you said is doing. And there's always been this, contradiction, confusion, argument. So that brought about the idea of DevOps. Now, what DevOps is, linking development to operations. So the idea is, as a DevOps engineer, you are in the process of this, in the course of this training, you'll be taking along Windows Server Administration, Linux Server Administration, AWS Cloud, and DevOps proper. The idea is that you are going to be the one to architect the cloud environment of which the codes that the programmers, the developers in different parts of the world, they could be in different parts, they could be in the same part of the world, the codes are going to work on, so that this application, like if you go now, you click on www.facebook, you click on Twitter, you can log into this. is because there is a DevOps engineer somewhere who has been able to make that easy and accessible. And from time to time, when you look at your phones, you find that you see application will tell you guys an update your software, install this update. Is because a DevOps engineer has made it possible that each time the developers commit their codes, it results in a view, and you are seeing it on the web browser, you are seeing it on your laptop, you are seeing it on your phone. So that is high level DevOps. So I think I'm going to hold it for that. So among other facilitators, we have Tayofiq, Yusuf, we have Cyril Osai, and Mr. Raymond, who has already spoken. So after they introduce themselves, we would like to take questions from you guys as participants or trainees, and to equally get your expectations. What are your expectations coming into this training? What do you intend to achieve within the next 6 months, within the next 7 months, within the next 8 months? The idea of this training that by the time you are done with this training, you should be able to sit for your certification, AWS certification, write your certification, and we are going to assist you as well in building your CV, building your CV, preparing you for interviews. And the beauty of this program is that, to be honest with you, the opportunities are so much. The demand for DevOps is crazy all over the world. All over the world, the demand for DevOps. As I speak with you, even though presently I'm working, I have like 3 pending interviews with companies in the United States, and I'm here in Nigeria. So the demand is crazy. So this is a skill that it should be giving you sleepless night if you don't have it. Because in a few years to come, bro, we'll be on another level, or you'll be on a different level. So that is it for now. I will give room for my colleague, Mr. Tayofiq Yusuf, to go ahead.
So hi guys.
Yeah,
Can you
Mr.
guys hear
Yusuf.
me?
Yeah, can we see your face?
Yeah, sure. I have some distractions in my background, so let me just show my face.
Okay.
Can you see my face now?
Yes.
Yeah. But I have some things going on in my background, so I don't know if I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So my name is Taufik Yusuf. I'm a cloud DevOps lead in a leading software engineering company, which is Infosys. I've been with them for like 2-3 years now, working as a lead position. So, and I'm part of the co-founder of RealCloud and DevOps Experts. So what we want to actually do differently in our trainings is that we want to capture the people that are coming from non-IT background. Like even though you read accounting, or you read business administration, or you read botany, any course that does not even relate to IT at all, then like you don't need to actually worry yourself, because we are starting from scratch. That's the reason why we are starting from Windows Server Administration. We'll cover Linux Server Administration before we now move to cloud and DevOps, which is the goal, because we want to train you guys to become a cloud DevOps engineer. So you need like a basic foundation. The basic foundation of Windows Server Administration and Linux Server Administration is what is going to assist you guys in cloud and DevOps. So from that Windows Server Administration, we'll start from the scratch, the ABCD IT. You are going to learn the meaning of wide area network, personal area network, local area network, what is called network infrastructure, what's the meaning of a network, like what is server, how can we promote a server to become a domain controller, So we are starting from the scratch basically. So you don't need to worry yourself, maybe can you be able to cope on this, or can you actually adapt to this? So no. And this cloud DevOps is not actually heavy on coding, because I know most people do believe that I don't actually have any coding experience. Can I code or anything? No, it's not actually heavy on coding. Though you might need to learn some, don't let me call it coding. I call it scripting. You will learn Python enough to automate your task. That's when we get to DevOps. You learn bash scripting, right? Just enough to just automate your task as a cloud DevOps engineer. So that is the reason why we want to start from, we want to go through Windows Server Administration, Linux Server Administration, because in that Linux, you will learn how to run the Linux command in a Linux operating system, right? So with your experience in Linux, you'll be able to code using bash scripting. Because as a cloud DevOps engineer, you will need at least a knowledge of one scripting language, either Bash, Python, Ruby. We have a lot of scripting language, right? And when you check some job description, you will see that they will say at least one scripting language is a must, right? So that's the reason why we want to go through from Windows Server Administration, Linux Server Administration. In Linux, you learn the basic networking, the advanced networking, file transfer protocol, the network time protocol. You will learn a lot in Linux. So when we are done with Linux, then we'll now go to cloud. And in the cloud, we have different cloud service providers. We have the AWS, we have Microsoft Azure, we have Google Cloud, we have Oracle Cloud, we have the Alibaba. But the main one we are actually going to teach you guys is AWS. And the reason is because they own the highest market share. Most companies leverage their clouds to be on AWS. And that's why we want to teach you guys AWS, because when you see some job description, you will see that most companies will just tell you that, okay, are you familiar with AWS? Have you worked with AWS service? The meaning of AWS is Amazon Web Service, right? So they are part of the cloud service provider. In fact, they are one of the giant cloud service providers. So you will learn your first 2-3 weeks in cloud, you will know how to actually host a static website on an S3 bucket. You will know how to actually provision a server. You will know how to create an IAM, how to add a role to a policy, how to create S3 buckets, how to leverage on serverless application, So we are going to do a lot of hands-on in cloud, right? So then once we are now done with cloud, then we'll now move to DevOps. So the knowledge you have in cloud, you actually need it in DevOps, because as my colleague said, the meaning of DevOps is just like an acronym that is coined from the word development and operation, right? So you having the knowledge of cloud and the knowledge of DevOps, you'll be able to provision infrastructure in cloud as a code using CloudFormation or Terraform, which we are going to teach you guys in DevOps, right? So then you will now know how to deploy an application to a particular server. That is the work of DevOps. So basically, when you pick up a job as a cloud DevOps engineer, what is expected of you to know is for you to know how to provision infrastructure as code and know how to do the configurations and deploy the application, be it a monolithic application or a microservice application. So we are going to walk you guys through. I'm one of the trainer in cloud and DevOps, while Mr. Raymond is going to teach you guys Windows Server and Linux Server administration. So I don't want you to guys don't panic, because at times when the class go on, you might want to be like, like let me say in the Windows server or the Linux server you might not fully understand where we are going, but believe me, just keep practicing everything they're teaching you in Windows Server and Linux Server, because you are going to need it in cloud and DevOps. So as time to time, we motivate you guys. If you need anything, or maybe you are trying to troubleshoot any practice stuff you are doing, just take a screenshot and post it to the WhatsApp group, where the trainer and the trainees, we all troubleshoot together to make sure that at least we provide a solution to any issues. You understand? So, and where we want to assure you that we are going to like land you to that your dream job at the end of 4 months. And once we are done with the program, you are expected to write a certification, which is AWS Solution Architect. Once we are done with the cloud training, we are going to advise everybody, not even advise, it's compulsory for you to actually write the certification, because that is going to validate your knowledge in cloud. Because when you start applying for a job and you put that certification in your CV that you are a certified solution architect, that attracts recruiters. They want to schedule you for interview, right? So this is the reason why you need to actually write the certification. So I wish you guys happy learning, and we meet in class. So thank you. Mr. Siwa, you can take over.
Thank you, Mr. T.Y.
Yeah.
So hi guys, good evening. My name is Cyril Osai. My guys, they've done justice to almost everything I've said. They have
Mr.
covered.
T.Y., sorry for cutting you short. Is it possible
Okay.
we can see your face? Let the prospective trainees get to see you.
My background is not too cool.
Okay.
I'm still in the office here, and there's some physical infrastructure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
But my face is on the profile.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, I work for a fintech in Lagos here, Aleki. I work as a cloud stroke DevOps engineer, and I have an IT experience of about 10 years, and I've been in cloud for 5 years now. Basically, I don't really have so much to say because my guys have said a lot about DevOps, the processes, the methodology, the aspect, and also the certification. Okay, what I want to say about the certification is that yes, it is compulsory to write the certification after the 4 months training. But the thing is, I won't say the exam is easy, because when some people hear IT certification, they feel, oh, the exam is so hard, it's so difficult. No. The thing is that AWS repeats their questions. And we have practice test questions, which will give out to you guys that will guide you in preparing and writing this certification. So basically, the training will be starting with Windows Server, Linux Server, then AWS Cloud, then also go to DevOps. So our major aim is to make sure that you land on that, your dream job. Yes, there is so much to gain as a cloud and DevOps engineer. One, the pay is very lucrative. The pay is high, even in Nigeria here, and also in the US. At least in the US, the minimum is, I think, about 100 or 110, 20,000 US dollars per annum. And Nigeria here, I think DevOps engineers basically are not junior engineers. They are not mid-level engineers. They are employed as senior engineers. So basically, our training will guide you to become senior engineers. So that's it basically, and that's our major aim. in starting this training. So if you guys have any questions, feel free. The floor is open for you to ask any question.
Thank you, Mr. CY. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I want to say is my fellow colleagues must have used different terms, different nomenclature, branding names, and all of that. You don't worry about that, especially for those of us that has zero knowledge relating to IT. Okay? When you start your training from tomorrow, I'm going to build you up from the scratch. Because before you become a DevOps engineer, you don't just wake up overnight and become a DevOps engineer. You start the journey, you start the process. So you start building yourself before you, at the end of the day, you become a DevOps engineer. Yes, it's tasking, okay? But if you follow the process and you attend meetings, you practice, and when you run into issues, you escalate, like my colleague said, take a screenshot and send on the platform, and the trainers and your fellow colleague, classmates will be able to provide support. Then you have to also do research. So your own research will also assist you a lot. So we're going to be looking at what a corporate network is, from a corporate network to enterprise network, and before you get to the cloud aspect of it. Because why cloud? So we have to go and be looking at all of these things, and we have to start the process, the practical aspect from the scratch. So when I finally take you through your Windows Server administration, and your Linux system administration, then I can decide to hand over you to them for cloud engineering, where you'll be covering your AWS, and that of what? And that of DevOps. Then you already have the foundation. So this time for you to move into cloud, you know that's Z, okay? And that suspense, you already have the knowledge that, oh, now I am going into cloud, because you already have the basic knowledge on what we are going to be covering the next 2 months time. So at this time, if you have any question, get to meet you guys, introduce yourself, your background, where you're coming from, and ask your questions. Then you can go ahead and give answers to them. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Tombo.
Yeah, my name is Utubong. Like rightly know, I'm a pharmacist by profession, and my knowledge for IT is slightly negligible, but I'm here because the world is drifting towards the IT area, and I have so many questions, but I believe that as we go one at a time, those questions will be answered, and at the end of the whole program, I'll get the necessary from farmer to the IT world, because I intend fitting everything farmer by the end of the year. So as much as that, I would want to put all the effort and learn all the necessary skills to take to be good at what I am or what I'll be doing going forward in life. So my questions will be coming as we proceed on this journey. But first of all, I want to appreciate you guys for giving it necessary to transmit such information. I think some other people have had such information and such knowledge, but they've been quiet and exploring the opportunities all alone. But for you guys to come out to want to translate the information and knowledge and opportunities to other people is quite a good one. And for me, I appreciate, and I hope other of my colleagues that are new in this to really appreciate what you guys are doing. We'll be asking questions, and I think this will help us to build rapport and relationships that even after the training, we can do better things, even outside the IT world. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas, thank you very much for that. The world is actually moving into IT, but like I said in quotes, IT is broad. So what we're actually looking at is we want to build you to become a cloud engineer. So when it comes to cloud engineer, then you are now a DevOps engineer. So you'll be able to carry out your responsibility, your task as a DevOps engineer. Okay. Do you have any question, any answer, contribution, addition, my fellow trainers in the house? Tafi,
I can see Theophilus raising his hand.
Yeah, let's Theophilus go ahead. Anthony Topper. Hello, Theophilus.
Okay, good. Okay, good day, everybody. Okay, so yes, it's a pleasure to be with you this time for this program. So I think it was CY that I spoke with when I was trying to make inquiry on this on the program. Okay, so before I go further, let me just introduce myself. I'm Theophilus Orogun. I'm in Lagos, and presently I work in audit in an organization in Lagos. All right, so okay, so fine. I came in a little bit late into the session, and but when Ray was talking, I heard some of the things he talked about, and one of the points he made was that he's going to train us, and we'll be able to become senior DevOps cloud engineer. So that struck me. It means that if you're going to train us to become senior DevOps engineer, it means that our knowledge is going to be above foundational knowledge. That's going to be a lot. And if you consider people who doesn't really have or maybe little knowledge of IT, so in trying to do that from our own side, what do you expect us? So I want to ask my question now. What do you expect us to? The expectation from us? Are there any tools? Are there any things that, in terms of practical and hands-on practice, that you want us to put in place that will help us as we navigate through this training? So that's my question number one. Then number two, I also want to find out if by the end of this training, are there certification exams that we need to take? And if there are, is this training actually going to prepare us for such exams? I think those are the two questions that come to my mind now.
Okay, Mr. Theophilus.
There are more. I will ask them as we proceed.
Okay.
Thank
you. Mr. Austin, can you hear me? Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Austin.
I can hear you.
Please respond
Yes, I can.
to Mr. Theophilus' questions.
Okay, Mr. Theophilus, I want to say welcome to the group. Your first question is, we are demanding to know if there is any special tool that you need to be able to carry out this training successfully. Okay, you need a working laptop of minimum of 8 gig. You need to have data, because everything we are doing is on the internet. So you need to have data. You're talking, I think you should come open-minded and be hungry, be willing to learn, as in, because you are going to stretch yourself. There are so many things to learn, actually. So come hungry. have a working laptop, make time. For any class series, always make sure you watch your video. The videos will be available after every session. The videos will be uploaded to a private channel where you can always go on. Then for your second question on certification, yes, definitely. It's only certification that can validate your skills. In fact, without certification, I hardly see any invitation for interview from any company. So the training is going to prepare you for certification. I guess you actually came late because if you were in earlier, you'd have one of my colleagues when he was sharing about certification, having to give you guys some fast questions because AWS happened to repeat questions. So we are going to prepare you for certification. We are going to provide you materials that you have to go through to sit before you sit for your certification. Yeah. So that is it. I think this answers your questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Tommy Topper,
Hi.
yeah, you have a question?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you very much to Mr. Ray and other facilitators. I just want to ask, would there be like a breakdown, like a curriculum of what we are expected to learn during this period?
Yes, there will be a breakdown of the curriculum of what you're expected to learn. So, like I said, the training is starting tomorrow. So, what you're expected to learn under Windows Server Administration, we'll have a curriculum for that. For your Linux system administration, there's a curriculum for it. So also for AWS, which is the cloud, curriculum for it, and that of the DevOps. So we'll have curriculum for it.
Oh, okay. My second question is the interview you guys said you're going to take us through, like prepare us for. Is it just for the first interview or till we get or to land our dream jobs or something?
See why?
Well, okay, my dear. Sure, we'll always guide you on preparing you for your interviews. So you have several interviews. Yes, some you might do like 3, 4, 5 interviews. Yes, it's normal. That's how this life is. Your first interview might not get the job, but the second interview you would improve and get the job. So yes, sure, we will guide you in any of the next stage you want to move into, as long as the interview process is interview process is continuous with you, and also will also help you upgrade or set up your LinkedIn profile to attract more recruiters to you. So that will be after you have written your exam and passed your exam. So sure, we'll always guide you for your interview process. We're always here. We're always here. We'll guide you on that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ray and CY. I appreciate. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, any other question? Clement, Mr. Clement. Emmanuel, go ahead. Hello, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So I just, after getting to know about this training, I just without sounding technically savvy in that sense, I researched. I just did a couple of research, just checked a few things online, and my question would be that in the when we get into the DevOps part, I heard the one of the trainers that talked about it saying, talking about how to use DevOps to deploy is it infrastructure or the application? I know I heard those two words, infrastructure and application. So is it just about just the deployment, or will be taken through the whole phase and have the ability to be able to use the whole phase of DevOps, using all the tools across board and all of that? That's my question.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yusuf, I want us to go around in answering your questions. Hello, Mr. Yusuf. Can you hear me? Hello?
Mr. Yusuf is actually still at work, and
Okay.
I think he's still doing. So let me help in regards to that. For DevOps, it's not just only the deployment stage. DevOps is centered about continuous integration, continuous deployment. So you have the planning stage, you have the build stage, you have the test stage, you have the integration stage, you have the deployment stage, and you have the operation stage. So each of these stages have different tools, from GitHub to GitLab to Jenkins to JMeta to TeamCity to Docker to Jira to Kubernetes. So there are different tools you use for these different stages. DevOps it's a methodology, it is a practice, so there's a flow, there's a pipeline. So basically we'll teach you everything on that pipeline. That's from the continuous integration to continuous deployment. So it's not just the deployment aspect, it's not just the server aspect, it's not just the infrastructure aspect. There's a build aspect of the software. There's a configuration aspect of the software. There's a planning aspect of the software. And all these are done in real time. It's like a life cycle. It's just like the agile methodology, but it's more advanced than the agile methodology. The agile methodology takes it by sprint, but DevOps is a continuous process. So while the developer commits a code, there are tools that builds those codes and deploys it to an infrastructure. So we'll be teaching you everything you need to know in DevOps. So all this will cover everything you need to know, not just the server aspect and not just the infrastructure and not just the deployment aspect.
Okay, thank you. That does justice to it. So another thing from what you just said, another question just popped up in my head. So is it that the old DevOps process and methodology is a replacement for like the Agile and the Scrum methodology?
I won't say it's a replacement. I would say it's a combination. They work in parallel. It depends on the institution or the organization. Some organizations practice just strictly Agile. Some organizations practice both DevOps methodology and Agile methodology. Some institutions just practice only DevOps. So it is not. It's not an upgrade to Agile. No, it is not, and it's not a replacement to Agile. So both can work in parallel. So it depends on the organization.
Okay, so if you're now faced with an organization that runs both, and you are just more of based on our training now, it's not like I know Agile or Scrum and all of that. So how would it be best to approach that kind of situation?
Okay, so if you're being employed as a DevOps engineer,
like
yes, come again.
Like going through an interview process with a company that runs both Agile and DevOps on their on their working platforms.
Oh yeah, fine. They will ask you questions about DevOps, which I know you would answer after you've gone through the training and done a lot of research and study. Then the Agile is I would say is something you can just read on your own. you want to. It doesn't take, if you have not worked in an institution, organization that practice agile methodology, you know, it is something you can always still read on your own if you want to, you know, but it's basically building sprints in software development and lifecycle process. So that's basically about agile. So if an institution practice both, fine, they might ask you questions on both, you know, but you should be able to have a high level understanding or a basic understanding of agile processes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. CY and Emmanuel. Okay, Mr. Clement.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I guess a lot of my questions, they have been answered since everybody spoke. So basically, I do not have, let me say, I have zero IT background. So my fear actually, and of course, I haven't really committed myself like in terms of monetarily. So I felt, okay, let me see how the discussion today would pan out. So now I think some of my doubts, they've been cleared. Okay, I don't need so much, or even I could start from level 0 and become good. But I just need to ask a few questions. Considering the 4 months, yeah, then like when Emmanuel spoke now, I guess Emmanuel wants to learn too, but when I heard him speak, I can kind of tell this person has some kind of background knowledge, like not even background knowledge. I can see that, okay, this guy is in this field.
No.
Okay, you might not be there, but I believe you know a lot. You know some things, not just something you read up from Google, maybe within the past 2-3 days.
But
Yeah.
You're right, Clement.
Yeah. So
it's past 3 days.
yeah. So what I want to ask actually is as a rookie, the 4 months now, it's not as if, okay, after the 4 months, are we gonna be on our own? Like we've taught you guys, yeah, you need to struggle now and do the thing, because at the end of the day, I think the end goal of the whole thing is it's a help that you are doing for us. Actually, at the end of the day, maybe there will be a kind of like follow-up. I know you've said it actually, but I just need to clarify those things again, because I look at it, I've tried to learn Python, so, and I kind of see how let me not say difficult now, or how difficult, let me say it, how difficult it could be. So when I have to learn something new now, so I'm kind of, okay, 4 months, is that enough? 4 months, will I be able to compete with somebody that has maybe that has an IT background? With 4 months, do I have any kind of advantage in getting a job, in getting a good gig? Yeah, those are my questions. And considering this saturation of the market, of course, we know it's not very saturated. New markets would crop up each day, things like that. But when money is attached, so we kind of want results very fast. So I guess those are just a few things I need to know. Is there a kind of commitment that, okay, we know you might be maybe 40% good at the end of the 4 months, you might be 50% good, just give, I need that kind of, how should I say it now? Like just, okay, maybe the 4 months you should be at this level, then continuously you develop yourself. So those are just the questions. Are we going to be on our own after the 4 months? Then what can, and of course, like you said, you will help us optimize our LinkedIn. Yeah, we need connections. Personally, I don't think in 4 months, that's just my raw thinking. Anyways, I know I may be totally wrong. Yeah, so I don't think 4 months, yeah, I believe 4 months might not be so enough to get something from the market. So you don't just go to the interview and look like a fool. what have you learned? You don't know anything. So those are just my little fears. Would there be a kind of help, assistance, like continuous after the training? Then a kind of link up, like connections to, okay, you should submit, you should put in your application here, you should try to do this and things like that, so that at the end of the day we've learned and you are also trying to help us use whatever it is we have learned and keep ourselves developing in that part. Because of course, me, I have a chemistry background, and I am really looking forward to making the switch actually. Yeah. That's my question. I hope it's not too much. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take that your question. Okay. The first one, you're actually the 4 months is enough. Yes. The 4 months is enough as long as you practice. As long as you've done these classes, you practice everything you are taught. We've already fashioned the program in such a manner that it will cover all that you require. And the idea is not just to train you and leave you. No. As long as you are following up, the purpose is to make sure you get employed after the period of your training when you have reached your certification exam. So after the training, we are going to have an alumni group where everybody that passed through the training is going to be added in the alumni group. There you will be sharing news, those that get their certification are going to be posting it in the place so that it will act as a motivation for others to qualify their certification. Those that get jobs. See, for saturation, I heard you say the market is saturated. Where are you calling from? Are you in Nigeria?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that I may be wrong. Saturation, I actually made saturation by the somebody that doesn't know anything compared to somebody that knows something.
Let me tell you, bros. As long as DevOps have not even started all over the world, I'm not even talking of Nigeria.
Okay, it shows me I don't know.
As in, it's like an ocean, which has not started. Yes, I'm not bragging about this, but the demand is way above the supply, way above the supply. You get, so it's not saturated. The idea of job, by the time we prepare your CV and help you after you have written your certification and help you set up your LinkedIn profile, recruiters will be reaching out to you. This guy, you don't even know what is going on. I say you have recruiters in your inbox.
Okay.
Do you get?
Yes.
Do you get? Yes. Okay. Having passed through several interviews ourselves, so we know what is being asked in the interview. So you are going to be prepared in such a manner that any interview you face, if you don't get it, then maybe 1 or 2 things. Maybe if you follow this program, do all you're asked to do, then I can guarantee you won't do more than 3 interviews before you land your job. You won't.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that was why the first person that asked the question, I told him, come hungry, come willing to learn, because it's going to be demanding. Yes, it's 4 months, but it's intense. It's an intense program because there are so many tools to learn. There are so many things to learn. So that is why you have to come prepared, come ready, willing.
Thank you.
Because the 4 months is going to stretch you. But as long as you are hungry, as long as you are willing, trust me, in 4 months, you believe yourself. If in the next 6 months, if you are speaking, who doesn't know within that you've been working like 5 or 6 years ago? Okay, so
yes, I do.
Then, like I said, everybody does not have the same assimilation rate. In 4 months, some people will be 80% ready, some will be 20, 40, some. So that is why we're going to have that alumni group where you can always bring your issues that is related to what you are taught, not economic issues, if you know what I mean. So you can always bring your challenges, you can always bring questions into the place. And again, there are some things like my colleague was saying, apart from building the application, the CI/CD deployment, there is monitoring. You don't build and just leave the application. You need to monitor it to make sure it's working. Sometimes server may go down. You need to get it. So that is part of the things you are going to do. But the thing is, because the tools are so many, it's always good to have that general knowledge of it, because each organization may employ a different tool. But if you know the foundation, you are good to go. You are good to go.
Okay.
You are good to go. So that is it.
Okay, so thanks.
We won't be left in the hanging. No.
Yeah.
The idea is to make sure at the end of the day you are somewhere working. That's the idea.
Great.
And the demand is crazy. So don't bother about saying it's saturated.
Okay.
The demand is crazy. The knowledge gap is too much.
Okay.
Many people don't know.
That's good to know. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Austin and Mr. That was Mr. Adebisi. Thank you. Any question? Hello.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you're talking
No,
what,
Mr. Emmanuel still have his hand raised up.
Mr. Emmanuel, do you still have question?
No, I don't.
Okay. So no question. Okay, so if no question, we can call it a day. So we'll be meeting in class tomorrow. The class starts tomorrow. Other information that requires the training, we pass to you on the forum. So if you have any other further question after the meeting, you can go ahead and drop your question on the forum. Okay.
Okay,
Answers
so
will be made available.
on a lighter note, since you guys want us to ask a question, why is it that the gap between the money of the people in the US and the one in Nigeria is that much? On a lighter note, though.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel.
It all depends on the industry you're working with, the company you're working with.
Can you take that question again? I didn't get the question.
I said, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what he's trying to say is that in terms of the payments, why is it that of the US is high compared to that of Nigeria payment? So it depends on the company you are working for. So we have a lot of DevOps engineer that works remotely. So it doesn't mean that because you are in Nigeria, you should be working for a company or an organization here in Nigeria. So your company can be a multinational company. So it depends on the company. So it's not fixed that DevOps engineer and pay less in Nigeria, while that in US can pay more. Their pay is more. But we know there's always added advantage over there, but it is not fixed. Do you understand? So you becoming a DevOps engineer does not mean at the end of the day, you are going to be working for an organization that resides in Nigeria. The company can contact you and the company can be anywhere. So if you are working as a DevOps engineer for an organization outside the country, then you already have salary standard, and that is what you're going to be paid.
Yeah, that's more reason why the gap shouldn't be that much.
Hello, to add to what my colleague already said, you know the Nigerian system, you know the way the setup is, and it's really unfortunate. It shouldn't be. That's why during your interviews,
sorry, I think you didn't get his question.
Your
sorry, I think you didn't get his question.
Okay.
Is it? I've forgotten who has the question. I think he's talking about the training fee, right?
Right.
Oh, is it the training fee?
Is that what?
Oh, I thought
he's looking at exchange rates.
Okay, I thought you are talking about the salary as a DevOps engineer.
No,
Training.
the fee for the training.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Okay. If I didn't get that before, basically, you know that the demand and the pay for DevOps in Nigeria cannot be compared with that in the United States.
But you just said at least someone in Nigeria too still has a chance to get a job.
Yes, but it's not. Yes, you have. Yes, you do have opportunity to, but it doesn't validate the fact that the difference in pay is crazy. Someone in the States getting minimum of 10,000, 12,000 per month. If you do that equivalent in Naira, you know how much it is.
Yeah.
So what Nigerian companies are not willing to pay 50% of that.
But well,
that's why we consider that. Consider that because the value you are going to get at the end of the day, even though both of you pass through the same program, is not the same. Even if you get job the same day, what you're earning is not what this guy is earning. So put that into factor. And another way is another way of urging the Nigerian people to adopt this new methodology, this new DevOps perspective of building. So you are trying to encourage the way of giving back to Nigeria. That's why we're encouraging them. That's why the fee is far lesser, like 4 times or so. It's far lesser. But you can check out, you find out that other training organizations charge far higher than what for US students. You pay like 4,500 for the same period. You can check out. You have your phone. You can Google it. You see. So we are even the prices is fair.
If you make the price, if you make the price so high in Nigeria, you won't find anybody attending this training now. Because even some of us, what you are billing us is some people are even will struggle to pay it. You know the.
I was referring to the person asking from the United States. For Nigeria, the price you are giving is very okay. Yes, I was referring to the person.
Even here, for those of us here, it's not really that convenient. Like 400, really. We're just going to try to pay.
Again, you now have to pay the money beginning of the month, whereby
and yeah, the bills almost all our bills are during the end of the month.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Even if you have to keep it at that price, you understand. If you put it at like a second week, I know you have planned that you want to start this training by the first week, but putting the modality and how we pay bills here, man, brother.
Brother, seriously consider.
Well, I understand your concern. I understand your yes. But you're not looking at what you stand to benefit at the end of this. If you're looking at that, believe you me, bro, you can even go and borrow money to do it. Believe you me, because I'm speaking from experience.
Let me just say this. Hello, Mr. Please, can I?
Yes, I can hear you.
The thing is, it's not as if we don't know the value of what you're about to give to us. We do know the value of it, and we want to. But the US system is that we pay tons of bill by the end of the month. So it is very choking for us to still bring extra 400 for another course, which we want to participate. Currently, I have not paid my fee, and I was hoping I would be able to pay today, but I just got disappointed. My school is not paying me what they're supposed to pay me. Today is the 1st, so I don't know if I'll be able to join tomorrow, but I'm certain if you could give us to like the end of next week, many of us will be able to come up with the fees. So I think that's what Mr. Emmanuel is just trying to make you understand.
Okay. That decision is not what we are going to give you immediate feedback right now. So if there will be any modification, it's going to be communicated. But for now, we still go by what we communicated earlier.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, please? For a follow-up question to that, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. So my follow-up question is this. Okay, let's now assume, because I haven't paid too, you understand, I'm planning to pay, today, once for some kind of change. I just paid my own rent now because, I have to take care of some of the basic things first and all of that. So my question is, if let's now assume that I'm not able to pay this week and I'm able to now pay next week. So is there a way to make up for, what I have missed this week?
Okay, valid question, very valid one. Okay, the videos of the class will always be available. So for let's say you didn't meet up this week and you paid for next week and you start this week, you access the video of the previous week. You access, and if you run into any issue trying to do anything. Moreover, we are still starting at the basic Windows Server administration, just basic. So you can still catch up. You can catch up. You can even, at the end of the day, do better than people that started before you. So that wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Yeah, that's all from my end. Thank you very much for addressing those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel.
You're welcome.
Mr. Austin.
So, sorry, please. So for tomorrow, what's the time tomorrow again, please?
3 p.m. Nigeria time.
Okay, good. Thank you. Is there going to be another group apart from this one for the lectures?
We'll get across.
Yes, definitely. Before the end of today, all those that have paid will be moved into a separate WhatsApp group, and information will be distributed.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. Please say that again. It's breaking.
Before the end of the day, or latest tomorrow, before the class, all those that have paid will be a different WhatsApp group from where you are now. That WhatsApp group, or even via your mail, that you are going to be getting communication correspondences from us. So for those who haven't paid, you see in this present WhatsApp group, but we'll be passing any information there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any question? So if no question, that will be all for today. So see you guys tomorrow in class.
All right, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
So tomorrow, Mr. Raymond will be taking you on the elementary part of Windows Server Administrator. So you may not be seeing us, myself, Yusuf, or CY. So enjoy your training, but we'll always be on the background in case you run into issues.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then one of my thing again is that, network and all of that. I hope the connections with Nigeria network and all of that won't be like an hindrance to, to most of our trainings and all of that.
Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Who is asking this question? Who asked this question? You're asking me if you hope Nigeria network, MTN or Glo, whichever you are using will not be a problem. Emmanuel, better
are you Nigeria or US?
I'm in both.
You
don't worry now. Before you went to US, you were managing here.
Yeah, well, I'm managing, but now the training to move to another level, I don't want to now. So no, every spirit of disconnection, we cast and bind it by fire.
No problem. There will not be any issue relating to this.
We survive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.